Hello and welcome to a new edition of Cairo Local Time. In this edition, we'll bring you the latest news and reports on ongoing activities taking place here in Egypt. We'll also discuss a variety of topics and events. So stay tuned. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. Now we'll have a look on some local news, and one of the important events that took place here in Egypt today is that 9 new ministers took the oath on Thursday before President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. The ministers included in the reshuffle are Dr. Sahar Abdelmenam Nasr, Minister of Investment and International Cooperation, Dr. Ali El-Sayed Ali Musalhi as Minister of Supplies and Internal Trade, Dr. Abdelmenam Abdel Wadud Muhammad Al-Banna as Minister of Agriculture and Land Reclamation, Councillor Omar Al-Khattab Marwan Abdullah Arafa as Minister of Parliament's Council Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Hisham Zain Al-Abdin Al-Sharif as Minister of Local Development, Dr. Tariq Jalal Shawqi Ahmad Shawqi as Minister of Education and Vocational Education, and Dr. Khalid Atif Abdel Ghaffar as Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Dr. Hala Hilmi Al-Said Yunus as Minister of Planning and Administrative Reform, Dr. Hisham Arafat Mahdi as Minister of Transportation. Meanwhile, 5 governors also took the oath of office. Those included governors of Qalyubiyya, Alexandria, Al-Bahira, Al-Daqahliya, and New Valley. 3 deputies were also appointed, 2 Minister of Agriculture and a deputy for the Minister of Planning and Administrative Reform. And President Fattah el-Sisi met on Wednesday visiting UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Guterres' visit is the first since taking office. The talks covered the situation in the Middle East and coordinating efforts to reach political solutions for crises in the region. After the talks, Guterres held a joint press conference with the Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry. Speaking at the press conference, Shoukry wished success for the new UN chief in light of the major challenges facing the world. More details with the Nile TV's correspondent Linda Abdelatif.
Palace. During the meeting, President el-Sisi congratulated Guterres for the post of the UN Secretary General and referred to the concern that Egypt has always given to the role played by the UN in enhancing international cooperation on all levels, which reflects Egypt's active participation in the activities of the UN in light of its current membership in the Security Council and for being an active contributor in the different UN peacekeeping process. President el-Sisi also referred to the importance of working on enhancing international efforts to reach political solutions for the crises in the region. Thus, besides increasing the international efforts to fight terrorism and extremism, the president also referred to the importance of exerting more efforts to revive the peace process between the Palestinian and the Israeli sides, stressing that reaching a just and a final solution for the Palestinian issue would provide a new reality in the region and would participate in regaining stability there. President el-Sisi also referred to the efforts exerted by Egypt to reach a solution for the Libyan crisis, stressing that Egypt is keen on not interfering in the internal affairs of the countries, adding that the country is also keen on preserving the unity and integrity of the Libyan territory and its people. For his part, Guterres emphasized that his visit to the country comes within the framework of Egypt being a pivotal pillar of stability and security in the region. And regarding the Syrian crisis, Guterres said that the UN is keen on working on reaching a political settlement that will end the humanitarian suffering of the Syrians. Guterres also emphasized on the importance of enhancing the national reconciliation efforts in Iraq and said that he is looking forward that the current year will witness political solutions in Yemen and Libya. And following the meeting, Foreign Ministers Sameh Shoukry and Guterres held a joint press conference. Speaking at the press conference, Shoukry wished success for the UN chief in light of the major challenges facing the world. Shoukry also highlighted the mediation role played by Egypt to reach consensus between Libyan parties on a political settlement for the crisis in the country, and said that Egypt backs efforts by the UN envoy for Syria to reach a settlement for the conflict, adding that Egypt supports dialogue between Syrian government and rebels. And for his part, Guterres held Egypt's leading role in settling crisis in the Middle East and reiterated that there is no alternative to the two-state solution to the Palestinian issue. The UN chief also expressed appreciation to Egypt for hosting a huge number of refugees escaping conflicts in the region without receiving the support of the international community. The meeting of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres comes within the leading and influential role Egypt plays and within its continuous successful efforts to overcome the challenges facing the region. Linda Abdul Latif, Nile TV International.
And Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met the African ambassadors in to Egypt. The meeting came as part of the Foreign Minister's keenness on continued contacts with all diplomats in Cairo to discuss bilateral relations and regional issues of common concern. Details follow. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met African ambassadors to Egypt. The meeting came as part of the Foreign Minister's keenness on continued contacts with all diplomats in Cairo to discuss bilateral relations and regional issues of common concern. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Abu Zaid said during the meeting, Shoukry noted that relations with the African countries constitute a top priority for Egypt. The top diplomat asserted that last year saw several regional activities and mutual visits, which came as part of contacts with the African brothers, including the Investment Forum in Africa and opening of the new Suez Canal in Egypt. Shoukry tackled Egypt's role for the development in Africa through the Egyptian Agency of Partnership for Development, which is affiliated with the Foreign Ministry. The spokesman said that the Foreign Minister reviewed the situation in Libya and the active role of a high-profile African Committee on Libya. He asserted the importance of coordination between Libya's neighbors in light of the negative repercussions on those countries due to the deteriorating situation in the North African country. He also called for combating and uprooting terrorism and facing illegal immigration. And the Finance Minister Amr Al-Garhi said that the size of investment in Egypt has jumped to 43 billion Egyptian pounds from 10 billion pounds at the beginning of the economic reforms the government has taken. He added in a televised remarks that investment would increase in the coming period, noting that the increase in commodity prices was larger than the government initially estimated. The goal of the ministry is to correlate with the global market and increase exports to cope with the big potentials of Egypt. And the Egyptian pound continued to strengthen against the US dollar, and amid expectations of gaining more power and estimates of settling below the 17 per US dollar within the coming few days. Head of the Treasury at the foreign bank operating in the Egyptian market said that several reasons drove the fall of the greenback value against the pound in the past few days, highlighting the increased supply of US dollar at banks. As many foreigners invest in local currency, government-debt instruments, where foreigners invested some $250 million in Egyptian treasury bills over the course of 1 week. And to shed more light on the causes behind the drop in the value of the US dollar versus the Egyptian pounds, we are delighted to be joined over the phone with Dr. Mustafa Rida, an economic expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How do you interpret this sudden drop in the US dollar value versus Egyptian pound?
Well, actually, this was something expected, you see, because the sudden rise of the dollar was something unusual, actually, and a lot of people have been trying to buy these dollars as in order to get gains on the short term and on the they thought they had speculations that the dollar will be increasing, so they started purchasing dollars, and certainly that raised the price. But now, yes, you see, after the regulation and certainly the government, which has certainly popped in with the new certificates, which is 20% in Egyptian pounds interest and 16% on 3 years. Certainly, a lot of people found out that it will be more beneficial for them to transfer their money into Egyptian pounds and put them into these deposits. So that's why there's been quite a long, great inflow of selling dollars at the market, you see.
So, sir, is this an indicative of sound economic Egyptian policies?
Yes, definitely, yes. You see, because in the past, you know, we had two rates, the official rate, which was unrealistic, actually. So we couldn't depend on it. And there was the majority of transactions which took place on the free market rate, which where there was a great significance in price. Now, certainly, when you have the unified price, this is a very big advantage because to the banking system, because all these funds which used to go to the free market now pour into the banking system, and this will allow certainly more flexibility to open letters of credit and meet foreign exchange demands.
So, Mr. Mustafa Reda, economic expert, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And now Egypt's unemployment rate slightly declined to 12.4% in the fourth quarter of 2016 from 12.6% in the previous quarter 2016. The country's official statistics agency, CAPMAS, said in a statement. Year on year, the unemployment rate declined from the 12.77% registered in quarter 4 2015. According to the statement, the number of unemployed Egyptians reached 3.59 million in quarter 4 in 2016, down from 49,000 from the quarter before. The total labor force in this period increased by 0.9% to reach 29.1 million. Egyptian populations currently stands at 91 million. CAPMAS stated that unemployment among men in quarter 4 2016 reached 8.5% and 25.3% among women. Welcome back. Now, dear viewer, we'll move to have a look on the military magazine and the latest in the military field with Yasmin Kafas.
Of the fruitful cooperation between the armed forces and the Ministry of Manpower, the Engineering Authority provides hundreds of jobs for youth in national projects. Upon the directives of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Supreme Command of the Armed Forces provided employment opportunities as much as possible to the Egyptian workers, especially from the people of Upper Egypt, to work at the joint national projects being implemented all throughout Egypt. The Engineering Authority of the Armed Forces began in coordination with the Ministry of Manpower to receive nearly 200 workers from various governorates as of Qana to work in developmental projects being implemented at the axis of the Suez Canal.
دول ظلت لعشرات السنين تنعم بالأمن والاستقرار وتتمتع بالرفاهية والرخاء والازدهار. وجاء اليوم الذي لم يستثن فيه الإرهاب أحدا، ولم يفلت من غدره مجتمع ظن أنه آمن أو محصن. لقد تفجر الإرهاب في كثير من دول العالم، واستشرى خطره حتى طال الدول العريقة في الحرية والديمقراطية.
Welcome back now, dear viewers. We'll take you to the world of tourism and we'll get you some interesting news about the attractive destinations here in Egypt where tourists can visit. Also, we'll get you some news about the latest archaeological discoveries, so stay tuned.
Minister of Antiquities Khaled Al-Anani toured work on the Giza Plateau Development Project and said that the Plateau Administrative Building would be ready for inauguration very soon. The minister said that work on the plateau is in full swing and that the site looks entirely different from how it did 2 months ago. Al-Anani called for information boards to be erected at the site's ticketing area to serve as a guide for visitors. Ashraf Mohi, Director General of Giza Plateau, said that progress on all the site includes the completion of the administration building and the visitor center. The foundation pillars and ceiling of the students' building have also been installed. Mohi said that the purpose of the students' building would be to educate youth on archaeological work and especially the excavation process. It is also intended to raise visitors' awareness and understanding of Egyptian heritage. Mohi went on saying that the Plateau Development Project aims to improve security measures to make the site more tourist-friendly. The project started in 2009 but was put on hold in the aftermath of the 2011 revolution for lack of funding. Work on the project resumes late last year. Mohi said that state-of-the-art security system with monitoring cameras have been installed at the site. A new lighting system to illuminate the Giza pyramids and the plateau at night is scheduled to be installed soon. Visitors of the Museum of Islamic Art have gained a new talent as they stepped their first steps into the museum's garden. They were welcomed with curators, restorers, and teachers from the German University in Cairo, the GUC, who were standing armed with white gowns and gloves before clay and cement dough. Ahmed Al-Shouki, Director General of the MIA, said that a workshop showing a teaching of MIA visitors how the early Islamic era artisans and workers have fabricated the magnificent porcelain and ceramic pots, pans, and other decorative elements that are on show on the MIA is organized, adding that the workshop was established in collaboration with the GUC and came within the framework of the MIA's plan to attract more visitors and improve the role of museum as an educative institution. Al-Shouki asserted that hundreds of children and youngsters attended the workshop and had the opportunity to work with their hands and fabricated their own vases or decorative elements. A guided tour inside the MIA in Arabic and English was also provided. The MIA's downtown Cairo's Bab al-Khalq area has opened its doors to visitors on mid-January 3 years of closure for restoration and repair.
An Egyptian restaurant is offering free food for 1 hour each day to customers who cannot afford to pay for their meal. The Kebda and Shawarma restaurant in the Cairo neighborhood of Do'i is offering free sausages, liver, and shawarma sandwiches. The initiative, which restaurant owner Mahmoud started last month, has proved a great success, evidenced by long lines of people waiting for sandwiches during the free hour each day. Restaurant manager said the restaurant also benefits from the scheme, as not only do they help the needy, they also receive positive publicity for the business. A new 30-episode television series being filmed in an old Damascus square is inspired by the infamous crimes of two Egyptian women in the early part of the 20th century. Directed by Tamer Ishaq, Warda Shameya, or Damascene's Rose, is loosely based on the story of Egypt's first female serial killers, Raya and Sakina, convicted and executed in 1921 for the murders of several missing women in the Laban neighborhood of Alexandria, allegedly to steal their gold jewelry. The Syrian series is based in Old Damascus and features two sisters called Warda and Shameya who commit many different crimes, including killing other women to steal their gold. Syrian actress Sulafa Memar also plays the role of Warda, while Syrian-Palestinian actress Shukran Murtaja takes the part of her sister Shameya. The story of Raya and Sakina has previously been dramatized in several films, television and theatrical productions, but Murtaja says the new series is not a simple reenactment and may not be what audiences are expecting.
Welcome back, dear viewers. In this segment of the program, we are delighted to be hosting an author, Mr. Muhammad Tantawi, who will tell us about his experience this year in the book fair, and he will tell us more about the forums in which he participated. He has a book published this year in the book fair, and it's called Think Again, and he'll tell us more about his book, which tackles new ways of thinking and solving problems. Good afternoon, Mr. Muhammad Tantawi.
Good afternoon, Ms. Shireen. Thank you very much for inviting me and for your warm welcome, and thank you very much, and thank you for
First, before talking about your interesting book, we'd like you to tell us about your experience this year in the 48th round of Cairo International Book Fair.
Oh, yes. This Cairo International Book Fair this year, it was amazing. It amazed me myself. And really, I was very happy with the young people and the young boys and girls. No doubt, I have no numbers, and I have no official numbers, but no doubt that the Cairo Fair achieved a new record in the number of visitors this year,
Yes.
which makes you satisfied and happy with the new youth and the boys and the girls. They are really, really satisfied and happy to visit the Cairo Fair. They like it, and they like to be in this culture event.
Yes, as we know that the theme this year of the book fair was youth and the culture of the future, which makes us have the feeling that the book fair is directed to youths and young people.
Yes, and that's most of the, we can say 80% of the visitors was young people,
Yes.
young boys and girls,
So you
teenagers.
feel that the book fair achieved its mission this year?
Yes, and it looks to me, I think that this event should be organized several times,
Yes.
more than once. It's not only one
Yes.
time, especially it's in the middle of the year.
Yes.
Why don't we organize another one in summer? So that, yes, you feel that they are starving for this kind of events.
So do you think that people are not now moving to the electronic books? They are still interested in buying books, traditional books, and read this way?
I think. Me personally, I use both.
Yes.
When I want to write something or to search for something, and it's not possible to find the paper book immediately. You cannot find it easily.
Yes.
But it's much more easier to find it on the net.
Yes.
And just you use your card, and then you get it PDF, and you can read it.
Yes.
If you want it. But of course, to me, and I think there's a lot of people like this, still the book, it has its own feelings when you touch it, when you take it, you can take it with you anywhere, everywhere. I usually tell my boys, my kids, that I like to take the book to the balcony afternoon with a cup of tea, and I forget everything about the world with the book.
So, in your opinion, what is the cultural role of the book fair?
Oh yes, of course that the book fair allows the young people to see and to know and to join.
Yes.
And I want to tell you something.
Yes.
One of the biggest newspaper organizations in Egypt, they organized a doorless seminar room in their booth. Imagine this. All the visitors can come closer to the writers and the poets and the artists and speak frankly to them.
Yes.
In open communication, open questions and answers.
Yes. Okay.
So they get close to their minds, and they know what they really. Some people, they think that the artists are different. They get close to the people, and they know that they can communicate, and this, of course, will take the youth from the bad culture in the street and from the bad songs and the bad
make them
habits.
Think more.
Yes, they will think more, and they think
broaden their minds.
Yes, of course, it will broaden their minds, and it will take them. When they hear poetry, we thought that young people will not like poetry.
Yes.
But it was amazing. They like it. They like it.
They have the good taste.
Yes, they taste it, and they feel it, and you know that they feel it when they clap their hands just after listening to some of poets in this seminar room. You feel that they are happy. They are happy with this.
Yes. You told me that you participated in some forums on the sidelines of the book fair.
Yeah.
So can you shed light on these forums?
This forum, it was a very brilliant idea from the organization to have such a seminar doorless room, and it's open. Just you come to their booth and you find the seminar room.
Yes.
this organization, I should say that we have to chapeau for them, for everyone who organized this. And as I told you, it gave us as as writers.
Yes.
It gave us the opportunity to communicate with the visitors and the readers directly. In most of the cases, when you attend a seminar, not all readers understand what you want to say. Sometimes everybody, because everybody has his own culture and his own mind, so not everybody understands what the writers really want to say.
Yes.
When you have these forums and you have this communication with your readers, you can say what you want frankly and easily and in a smooth way.
Yes.
So they know what you really want to say. This makes a lot of a good broaden the mind of the young teenagers.
Also, in this year, there was an expanded Chinese participation in this book fair. Do you think that the Chinese culture is invading our society?
Actually, for my opinion,
yes.
The Chinese invaded the whole world.
Yes.
But for Egyptians, Egypt, especially Egypt, a lot of foreign invaders came to Egypt during the last 7,000 years, but nobody changed Egypt.
Yes.
Egypt affects everyone.
Especially on the cultural level.
On the cultural level, yes. Especially, we invented this. Egypt here, we invented the culture. We invented the artists. We invented writing.
Also, Morocco was chosen as the guest of honor.
As the guest of honor, yes.
So tell us about the Moroccan participation.
Morocco participation was also the Moroccan culture had a special
taste.
A special taste, yes. A special taste. It's we cannot say it is very close to the Egyptian, but it's yes, the Egyptian, we can taste it. We can understand it also. But there is, of course, a different level to that. When you pass it, we lost the communication in a special way.
Now let's move to your book that was published in this year's edition of the book fair. It is called Think Again.
Yes, it's called. In Arabic. It's اخزي عين الشيطان وفكر من جديد.
Yes. So first, tell us about the circumstances that encouraged you to write this book.
Yes. Actually, I discovered that we commit mistakes and we repeat it again and again and again.
Yes.
And without any hope to stop it. And these mistakes also, it moves and transfers from generation to generation in a very easy and smooth way.
Yes.
And how can we stop this? How can we? There is a big dilemma here. Everybody thinks that he is always right. This is in the whole world. We know this. Everybody thinks that he is always right. But we know that we have a problem. At least we know here in Egypt that we have a problem. How can we put a spot, or how can we put our hands on these problems, on these mistakes, and how can we change it?
Yes.
While we are thinking that we are always right. This is a scream. This book is a scream. It's an alarm. It's اخزي عين الشيطان means start immediately. We are in a great danger.
Yes.
You are in a great danger. I want to tell everybody, and I will prove it in the book.
Actually, you chose an attractive title.
Attractive.
Yes, it's very attractive.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
It was chosen by a friend of mine,
Yes.
who is a publisher actually. He's a publisher actually. He chose the name, and what I want to say that a lot of our habits and a lot of our beliefs were built randomly. We didn't mean it. It was built in our minds randomly, by default or by the way. So in this book, I say, it's not only I say, I scream in the ear of everyone.
Yes.
Stop it, take care, stop and see, where are you going? You cannot go anywhere with a random map or with a wrong map for your mind. You should know, I will take you for a trip inside your mind. A trip inside your mind. I will show you how it works.
Yes.
I will show you how it works, and I will prove to you how habits were built randomly in your life, and how this will affect your life.
And became part of us,
Yes,
these habits.
Yes, habits, and habits also, when it moves from generation to generation,
Yes.
it changes to a cultural
Yes.
way
of life.
say? Yes, it's we can say it's a habit, and it's a traditions.
Tradition.
It changes to traditions, yes, in the society. And we don't know the source of these traditions.
Yes.
We should stop and know, what is this? Where are we going?
This book is considered a part of a human development book.
Yes, it's actually, it is a
human
development, but it's another way.
In another way.
In another
it's a story?
No, it's not a story. It's
not
not
a
a novel. Yeah, no, it's not a story. You can say that we have. I have a little bit from medical
background.
Science. Yes. I work in the medical field, so I know a lot of things from the medical field.
Yes.
I want to.
You mean psychology? Human psychology?
I have read in psychology and also medical, especially after the year 2006.
Yes.
They discovered the MRI functional, the functional MRI, and this we work on the brain, and we discovered which part is responsible of what.
Yes.
But this is for medical. So there is a lot of books written by doctors to doctors, but it's not. It's not. We want to take this and give it to people in a very easy and a very smooth and a very readable way.
Okay.
It's not. We are very. I was very keen to be away from the medical expressions, from the bad medical expression. Not bad. I mean heavy or yes, or difficult. I explained how the mind works just in a very easy language.
Yes.
Even a child can understand it, so that we can. If everybody know how it works, how his mind works, he can control it.
Yes.
Then I take him the next step. I show him how to be smarter, how to be stronger, how to be healthier, how to be richer if you want. Of course, everybody wants to be richer, but yes.
So tell us more about the difficulties that face you when you were writing this book.
Actually, the difficulties that
research, of course.
It's a lot of research, and how to translate the heavy medical expressions to make it much more easier for the young teenagers to understand.
You wanted to address all people.
Yes, I wanted to address all people, but actually, I will tell you a secret. I didn't prepare this, but I will tell you a secret. One day I came to my son and I told him, take this book and read it. And he said, oh, Daddy,
it's boring.
It's boring.
Yes.
I just finished school and you are asking me to study again. Study? I don't ask you to study. I want you to read.
Yes.
Reading it's something nice by itself. Reading is a cure, I can tell you. I can assure you that reading is a cure by itself. I gave him a book written by Dale Carnegie.
Yes, Dale Carnegie, yes.
Yes, and he refused. It's difficult. It's okay. So I told him, okay, I will write something which will make you read it. So I collected about, you can say 24, 30, 40 books. And I tried to give him the whole idea of these books in a very smooth and in a very easy way. And also, I went with him out with his friends.
Yes.
I went with them in the cafes and this, and listen to their language. And listen, how do they speak? And I tried, to use it in my book.
Yes.
Not all of it, because a lot of their language cannot be used, actually, in writing. But I wanted to give them something funny. I want them to laugh.
Yes.
I was always putting my son in front of me when I'm writing.
Yes.
And I'm always speaking to him and to his friends.
Yes.
I wanted always to explain to them. So I used.
So you targeted youth.
Yes.
More.
Yes.
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 It's for all, but you targeted youth more.
It's for all, and of course for the boys and girls. But I was
targeting this.
Yes.
Age.
I was speaking to my son.
Yes.
I was actually speaking to my son. And when I speak to my son, everybody else can understand this. And everybody else can also use it.
Tell us, what did he tell you after reading it? Did he enjoy it?
Yes.
After all the effort you put in the book.
Yes. First of all, he is really, really very proud and happy that I wrote this book, especially for him. And I can't tell you how happy he is with this.
Okay.
He maybe is listening now to this, and he knows it. He took the book. He's now graduated and he's working. He took the book to his college and to his friends, and they organized a meeting, even in the factory where he works, and they start reading the book with his
to discuss.
And discuss
the main points in it. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss the book more, but unfortunately we run out of time. I'm Mr. Mohammed Tantawi, author. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I was happy.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. And now, dear viewers, this brings us to the end of today's edition of Cairo Local Time. I'm Shina Adil signing off.